So today, let's journey back to ancient India to explore a really profound system of learning. It's something that's way less about classrooms and grades and much more about complete personal transformation. It's called the Guru-Shishya Parampara.
Let's just start with this question. I mean, we usually think of education as, memorizing facts, passing tests, maybe landing a good job. But what if it was designed to reshape your entire being? We're talking your character, your skills, even your spirit. Well, that powerful idea is at the very heart of the tradition we're exploring.
All right, first up, we need to think way beyond our modern idea of a classroom. To really get this tradition, you have to see how it defined teaching and learning in a completely different, and honestly, a much more immersive way.
So, the name itself, Guru-Shishya Parampara, it literally translates to the lineage from the teacher, the guru, to the disciple, the shishya. But listen, this is way more than just passing down a textbook. It describes this living, breathing chain of wisdom, a kind of unbroken spiritual and intellectual bond that's passed from one generation to the next. And if you want to understand just how deep the reverence for the guru went, just listen to this line from an ancient prayer. It actually equates the teacher with the highest gods, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. And it ends by saying that on this earth, the guru is your God. That just shows you the incredible trust placed in the person who was meant to guide you.
So, what did this relationship actually look like in practice? Let's zoom in a little on the two main people here, the guru and the shishya, and really explore what made their bond so uniquely powerful.
Okay, so think about the difference here. A modern teacher, they're an instructor, right? They follow a curriculum, they impart specific knowledge. But a guru, wow, that's a whole other level. They're a revered mentor. Their job isn't just to teach you stuff, but to impart deep wisdom, to shape your character, and to guide you on this whole journey of self-realization. It's really the difference between a professional educator and a complete spiritual guide.
And this learning wasn't happening in some school building with bells ringing. No, it took place in a Gurukula, which was the guru's own home. The disciples would literally live with the guru and their family. It was total immersion. They weren't just learning from lessons. They were learning by watching, by helping with chores, by just absorbing values through constant everyday life. So what was the glue that held this really intense relationship together? Well, it was a single, powerful concept called Shraddha. Now, it's often translated as devotion, but it's not blind obedience. A better way to think about it is a deep, unwavering faith in the guru's wisdom, a profound trust that their guidance is going to lead you to transformation. That trust, it was the absolute bedrock of the whole system.
Now, you might think that all this immersive living sounds a little random, maybe unstructured, but nope, not at all. At the very heart of this tradition was a clear, methodical, three-step path that was designed to create true mastery.
In fact, the ancient texts lay out this incredibly methodical system for truly internalizing knowledge. And this was never about just cramming for an exam, okay? This was a real journey through 3 distinct stages, with each one building on the last, all designed for a deep and permanent kind of understanding.
So let's break this down. The first step is Shravan, which is listening. The disciple would just listen really attentively to what the guru was teaching. The second step is Manan, which is reflection. This is where you think deeply about what you heard, you ask questions, you talk about it to really get the meaning. And finally, and this is the real game changer, Nididhyasan, or application. See, knowledge wasn't considered complete until you actually applied it in real-world situations, turning it from just a theory into wisdom you could actually live by.
So what was the end result of this whole intensive process? Well, this tradition didn't just produce students, it forged masters. I mean, the history and mythology of India are just filled with these legendary figures who were products of this exact system. Just take a look at some of these names. Under the guru Dronacharya, Arjuna became a warrior with skills that were just unmatched. With sage Sandapani, Lord Krishna supposedly mastered 64 different arts. And guided by the strategist Chanakya, a commoner named Chandragupta Maurya went on to build one of India's greatest empires. These aren't just cool stories. They're powerful examples of what this kind of focused, holistic mentorship can do.
And look, this was not some flash in the pan. We're talking about centuries where this model was the foundation of education in India. While it's hard to put an exact number on it, its deep influence is really clear across all the major historical periods, from the Vedic era all the way through the Classical Age. It really shaped the course of the entire civilization.
Now, of course, we have to be real about this and look at the full picture. The system wasn't perfect. The caste system that was prevalent at the time sometimes meant that not everyone had access to this kind of knowledge. The famous story of Eklavya, for example, who was refused instruction by a great guru because of his lower caste, really highlights these social complexities.
So, all of this history is fascinating, right? But it brings us to the most important question. What can this ancient wisdom actually teach us, right here, right now? Let's try to connect these principles to our modern world.
The Guru Shishya Parampara really offers us some timeless lessons. It hammers home the importance of true mentorship, not just instruction. It reminds us to focus on building our character right alongside our skills. It champions active, hands-on learning, that Nijidhyasan step we talked about. And it also teaches this beautiful idea that learning is a two-way street. The student actually teaches the guru things too, like humility and patience.
So let's leave you with this powerful idea. A guru doesn't always come dressed in saffron robes. A true guide, a true mentor, can be a parent, a boss at work, a friend, really anyone who opens your mind and shares their wisdom. So the final question to you is, if you look around with an open heart, who is the guru in your life?